there was another thing, and to your point that there's a comfort in the assignment, and this is true throughout the league and throughout every sport. And I remember last year when the rough and tumble New York media wasn't asking tough questions of Aaron Rodgers. They got mad at me, and my response was, show some of that to him. Because there's a symbiosis to it. You're there, and you're given a credential to be there, and you want access beyond being present at the press conference. You rely upon the team for cooperation. Hey, can I get 10 minutes with this guy? Can I get 5 minutes over here? I'd like to do this. I'd like to do that. Can you get me this? Can you get me that? And if you're known as the asshole, sorry, London, and everyone watching on YouTube TV, Comcast, Infinity, wherever else NBC, SN may be right now. But if you're that person, it's harder for you to do your job. So there is that balance you try to strike. And I say that because, look, I know Tomlin speaks every Tuesday at noon Eastern. And I told the PFT staff yesterday, I'll watch it and I'll write whatever he says about his job security and whatever he says about Aaron Rodgers throwing his teammates under the bus on Sunday. Right. And neither topic was addressed.
Yeah.
They talked about the struggles of the team, but nobody gave him like the Mike McDaniel, how are you feeling about your job security? McDaniel had to answer those questions. And the Dolphins had to deal with the whole Tua Tagovailoa saying you've got teammates who aren't showing up for or are late for player-only film sessions. And that was the story of the week in Miami and beyond.
Right.
Tua coming out and cleaning up that mess. And Mike McDaniel having to come out and talk about what Tua said. And what Rodgers said on Sunday is something that justifies, if not demands, follow-up. And I assumed that someone would have found a way to ask the question of Mike Tomlin. And there's a way to do it that isn't combative. There's a way to say, hey, what was your reaction to what Aaron said? I mean, there's a way to do it that tees him up to say whatever he wanted to say about it. And it was a full 30 minutes, and he wasn't upset. It was just odd to me. And this is one of the problems with a press conference, because you got a bunch of different people, and everybody thinks somebody else is going to ask the question. And then you get to the end, and nobody asked the question. And collectively, it's malpractice. Individually, hey, we got 20 other people in here. But collectively, it was malpractice by the Steelers press corps. Now they're going to be mad at me, and they're going to drive down here and yell at me. And I'll say, good! Use that in your job.
Good.
Use some of that venom.
Anybody in the
job.
Pittsburgh press corps.
How do you not ask that question, Chris?
I hear you.
How do you not ask about what Rodgers said?
I'm with you. And if anybody in the Pittsburgh press corps needs your address, let me know, and we'll get them down there, and we'll but
don't dox me.
I'm with you in that. Not only do you not ask, how do you not ask that question? I feel like it would be the first question out of my mouth, and the first thing I was thinking about when I walk into that room was, I'm going to ask that. I need to hear the answer. I got to hear the answer of that from the head coach, and we have all these issues, and the quarterback just added to the issues a little bit. Yeah, I don't get that, and I'm shocked by it. Maybe you need to drive up there and school them a little bit.
I got other things to do that lead more directly to revenue than hanging around a press conference and asking Mike Tomlin questions and, feeling like I'm part of that club. I understand that's how I've never been a beat writer, and I don't want to be. I don't want that life. I don't want to be beholden to the team all the time. I want to be able to say what I believe. And here's an example of this is how easy it is, folks. What was your reaction to what Rodgers said? Was he talking about team-held film sessions or player-conducted film sessions? Who was he referring to? Was that the first you'd heard about the issue, Coach? Who's been running the wrong routes? Has there been any fallout internally from what happened? Like, there are different things that would have easily been articulated and posed. And I didn't write that it's malpractice yesterday because I didn't want to be a complete and total jerk about it, but now that I had a chance to sleep on it and talk to you about it, collectively it's malpractice by the Steelers press corps because one of them should have asked it. Somebody in that room, and maybe they should have talked to each other ahead of time, because sometimes what will happen is they'll wait until the very end to ask that question that could piss the coach off or could lead down a path that gets him to go? Because they did get 30 minutes out of him. And if you would have led with that topic, maybe you don't get 30 minutes out of him. But still, you got to have a plan. You got to work together. And it's just a bad look for the entire Steelers press corps that no one asked the most obvious question that anyone would want, because that's their job. They're the liaison. They're the conduit for the fans. And if I'm a Steelers fan, what I want to know is what Mike Tomlin thinks about what Aaron Rodgers said on Sunday.
Yeah, I hear you. I got nothing more to say on that. I'm with you there.
All right. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, yesterday was his 42nd birthday. Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, who presumably was in the room yesterday and didn't ask the question.
Jerry, he was talking to you, Jerry. Florio was talking
Rodgers
to you.
Had his, shut up, had his receivers, tight ends, and running backs to his house tonight to watch film and go over plays. Ben Skoranek brought a decorated cake, and the players sang happy birthday to Rodgers, who turned 42 on Tuesday. I'd like to know how the cake was iced. I'd like to know what the ingredients in the cake were after what Aaron Rodgers had said on Sunday. That's all I'm going to say about that. And it all just feels a little too contrived and convenient, right? 2 days after, he calls him out. It's his birthday. Hey, everybody, come to my adult birthday party. We're going to watch film and we're going to eat cake. And if you don't show up, I'm going to call you out on Wednesday. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was just the thing on Sunday was aimed at ensuring everybody shows up at Aaron Rodgers' birthday party.
Yeah, that's right. He just wanted you to pay homage. He wanted to see you there to sing happy birthday to him. But, yeah, I mean, does it feel a little contrived? Yes, it does, right? There's no question about that. And it's shocking they didn't ask about it in the press conference. I'm interested to see if they ask Rodgers when he talks to the media at some point, and if it comes up, that'll be even more.
Today.
All right.
If they don't ask him that today, if I am going to lose my mind if they don't ask him about that today.
All right, counselor. So we'll see. But, hey, they watched a little film last night, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see if it pays off against this Ravens football team this week.
Chris, today is open locker room day. This is how it works, folks. Everybody's required to talk to reporters after every game. Everybody. During the week, there will be specific individuals who have the podium press conference, but everybody else has to be available in the locker room. So this is the day for the beat writers to fan out, and you go get Ben Skoranek. You go get DK Metcalf. You go get Scotty Miller. You go get Roman Wilson. You go get Calvin Austin III. And you say, what was they talking? Like, you either do it with a recorder in their face, or you pull them off to the side and you find out exactly what was going on there. And if they don't do that, it is malpractice. If they don't do that, they are failing to do their jobs of informing the fan base of what's really going on in Pittsburgh. And if they don't do it, we're going to wonder, are they just playing ball in exchange for whatever access they feel like they need from the Steelers, helping them through a rough spot, not making a big deal about something that the Steelers would rather a big deal not be made of. And I can't help but wonder whether or not somebody asked that they don't even ask the question. That's one potential explanation for why it wasn't brought up yesterday.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.